Good morning, children. I am Subhashini, working as a biology CRT at Veeravalli KGPV from Kadapa district. In the last class, we are learnt about the respiration part 1. In this class, we are learnt about the respiration part 2. Okay, children. In the last class, we are learnt about the respiratory system, entire respiratory system. In this class, we are going to learn about what are the respiratory organs are located in face and also neck. See here, this is the nose. Nose is open to the nostrils. Nostrils are open to the cavities. Two cavities are present. That side one cavity, this side one cavity. So, this is the nasal cavity. The nasal cavity is open to the pharynx. This is the pharynx. Pharynx is the junction part between the digestive system and also respiratory system. That is why during the cold or cough condition, we are unfit to breathe in or breathe out the air through the nose. In such conditions, we are respire with the mouth also. So, the pharynx is open to the mouth and also pharynx open to the nose also. In the respiratory system, the pharynx is open to the larynx. This is the larynx. Larynx is called as the voice box due to the exhaled air, the vocal cords are vibrated and produce the voice. So it is called as voice box. At the tip of the larynx, it has a flap-like structure. It is called as epiglottis. Epiglottis is made up of the cartilage. It is a cartilaginous structure. It prevents the entry of the food and water into the trachea. So, the larynx is open to the trachea. That means larynx continues as a trachea. This is the trachea. It is a pipe-like structure. It is extended from the neck and enter into the chest cavity. So, behind the narrow tube is present. It is called as esophagus. This is the part of the digestive system. These parts are located in the neck and also face the respiratory organs. Now, see the respiratory organs in the chest. This is the trachea. Inside the chest cavity, the trachea is divided into two branches. Each branch is called as bronchus or primary bronchus. It is left branch, so it is called as left primary bronchus. Here one more bronchus is found, that is right primary bronchus. The right branch is open to the right lung. The left branch is open to the left lung. Inside the lungs, it is again divided into the number of branches. Those small branches are called as bronchioles. See, two lungs are present. The trachea is divided into two branches. Each branch is called as bronchus. Inside the lungs, these are divided into again number of small branches like a root system. So it is called as, these are called as bronchioles. Now see this diagram. This is trachea. So the trachea is pipe-like structure. So it is also called as windpipe. In the chest cavity, it is divided into two branches. See the two branches. This is left branch. This is right branch. After entering into the lungs, the bronchus are divided into number of small branches. They are called as bronchioles. Each bronchiole is open into the air sacs. Air sacs are known as the alveoli. See the structure of the air sac. The bubble-like structures are called as the air sacs. The bronchioles are open into the air sacs, and also the number of blood vessels. The pulmonary arteries, pulmonary vein, they are spread onto the walls of the air sacs. The pulmonary vein carry the pure blood. Pulmonary artery carry the send the impure blood to the air sacs. See this diagram. These are the lungs. Lungs are the reddish grey colored organs. These are made up of spongy tissues. We are already learned about the tissues, animal tissues in the 9th standard, 3rd lesson. Okay. They can expand and also lungs can contract and relax their own. Most of the chest cavity is occupied by the lungs. The lungs are pink and grey colored combination colored structures. These are made by the spongy tissue, and they can respire oxygen, leave out the carbon dioxide. Where are the lungs are located? The lungs are located in bony box, See this bony box, the front bone, thoracic vertebrata. This bone name is the front bone, and backbone, the side bones, rib bones. These are combined together, are connected with each other and form this case-like structure. It is called as rib case. In this rib case, heart, lungs, trachea and esophagus are located inside of the rib case. They are smooth and sensitive organs. That is why they are protected by this rib case. In the prokaryotic cells, prokaryotic means the cells which do not have any membrane around the genetic material. Such cells are called as prokaryotic cells. In those four prokaryotic cells, the cellular respiration is carried by the cytoplasm. At the same time, in the eukaryotic cells means the cells which have the nuclear membrane around the genetic material. Such cells are called as eukaryotic cells. In the eukaryotic cells, cytoplasm and mitochondria both are perform the cellular respiration. See the structure of the mitochondria. The mitochondria is a double-walled structure. It has two membranes, outer membrane, inner membrane. This is outer membrane. Outer membrane do not have any foldings or curvings. The inner membrane has number of finger-like projections. Number of finger-like projections and foldings. So these finger-like projections are called as cristae. This one, the finger-like projection is called as cristae. Inside of the inner membrane, it has the substance portion. It is called as the matrix. That is called as the matrix. It is the one of the cell organelle which perform the respiration, cellular respiration. Actually, most of the students have the confusion between the mitochondria and also chloroplast. Chloroplast is present in the plants and perform the photosynthesis. The mitochondria are found in both plant cells and also animal cells, carry the cellular respiration. Okay children, in the last class we have learned about the structure of the mitochondria. In this class we have learned about the glycolysis and Krebs cycle, two phases in the respiration. Actually, the energy production occurs in the mitochondria. So the mitochondria are called as the powerhouses of the cells. The energy is stored in the ATP molecule. ATP means adenosine triphosphate. This is the adenosine. phosphate molecules are bonded to the one phosphate molecule, second phosphate molecule, third phosphate molecule. This is the adenosine molecule. With the single adenosine molecule, the three phosphate molecules are bonded to the single adenosine molecule. So it is called as the adenosine triphosphate. Tri means three. Okay, one ATP molecule can release the 7200 calories of the energy. In the respiration, two phases are found in the respiration. They are glycolysis and Krebs cycle. Glycolysis is common in every aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. But the second phase is different in the both types of the respiration. Let us study about them. Okay, in this class we are going to learn about the glycolysis. Glycolysis is the common phase in the both aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. This is the first phase in the cellular respiration in both types of respirations. But what is the glycolysis? Glycolysis is the breakdown of the glucose molecule into two pyruvate acids or two pyruvate molecules is called as the glycolysis. In this phase, two molecules of the pyruvate and some amount of the energy are released. And also, in the second phase, different kinds of the reactions are occur in the aerobic respiration and also anaerobic respirations. See here. Glycolysis. Glucose divide into two pyruvate molecules. And energy. Aerobic respiration. This is the first phase. In the second phase, some different reactions are occur in the aerobic respiration. In the presence of oxygen. In the presence of oxygen, the pyruvate acids are break down and form the carbon dioxide, water and energy. CO2, H2O and energy. Lot amount of energy. Are produced. At the same time, the aerobic respiration is occur in the both plants and animals. These reactions are occur in aerobic respiration. Okay. In the aerobic respiration, first phase is the glucose. Glucose is divided into the two pyruvate molecules and some amount of the energy is released. And also in the second phase, the pyruvate acid is break down and form the carbon dioxide, water and energy. Large amounts of energy is released. But in the presence of the oxygen only. It is occurs in the all the plants and animals. This is the respiration in the plants and animals. That is aerobic respiration. Okay, in this class we are learn about the anaerobic respiration in different living organisms. Glycolysis is the common phase in the both aerobic and also anaerobic respiration. But in the anaerobic respiration, the different kinds of the end products are formed in the different kinds of the living organisms. The anaerobic respiration occurs in the absence of the oxygen or low amount of the oxygen. If there is no oxygen, such conditions, the anaerobic respiration occurs. And also, if the low amount of the oxygen is available for the some living organisms. For those living organisms, anaerobic respiration occurs and some end products are produced. In the bacteria, In the bacteria, due to anaerobic respiration, the pyruvate acids are break down and form the lactic acid and CO2. Some amount of the energy are released. Lactic acid. Lactic acid, CO2 and energy. Little amount of energy is produced. These end products are formed in the lactic acid bacteria. In these reactions are involved in the anaerobic respiration and occurs in the bacteria. Okay. Now in the yeast cells, another kind of end products are produced. In the yeast cells, ethanol, CO2 plus little amount of energy. See, in the bacteria, lactic acid is formed, but in the yeast cells, ethanol, kind of a alcohol, is formed from the glucose. Actually, due to heavy body workouts and also the physical works, we get lot of body pains. In such conditions, in our muscles, anaerobic respiration occurs. Due to that, lactic acid is secreted in the muscles. Due to high concentration of the lactic acid, we get a lot of pains in the muscles. After some time, the lactic acid is diluted. So, after 1 hour or 2 hours or some time, we get the relief from the body pains due to dilution of the lactic acid. So that is also example for the anaerobic respiration. This question is important for the exams. All the summative exams and also public exams also. This question is common, very common in every summative exams. Okay. Okay children, again I am showing the two phases in the respiration. First one is the glycolysis. Glycolysis means glucose molecule, and lysis means break down the breakdown of the glucose. Due to the glycolysis, glucose molecule is breakdown into two pyruvate molecules. How many pyruvate molecules? Two. Here, each one pyruvate molecule has 3 carbon compounds. In the glycolysis, some amount of the energy also produced. In the presence of the oxygen, that means plenty of oxygen is available. In the presence of the oxygen, the pyruvate acid is divided into carbon dioxide, water and energy. This process is occur in the both plants and animals. Such kind of the respiration is known as aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration is occur in the presence of oxygen. Now, anaerobic respiration. In the absence of the oxygen or low amount of the oxygen, anaerobic respiration is occur. In some organisms like the bacteria and yeast. In the bacteria, pyruvate acid is divided into lactic acid, energy. Lactic acid and energy are produced in the bacteria. These are the end products in the respiration of the bacteria. In the yeast cells, another kind of the end product is produced. See here. Due to the anaerobic respiration in the yeast cells, the pyruvate acid is break down into ethanol, carbon dioxide and energy. 3 end components are produced in the anaerobic respiration of the yeast cells. But in the bacteria, lactic acid is formed. In the yeast cells, ethanol is formed. That is the variation between the bacteria and also yeast cells. Okay children, in this class we are learning about the experiments in the respiration. During the anaerobic respiration, the carbon dioxide and heat energy both are released. How will we prove it? For prove this fact, we have to do the small activity. These are the required operators to conduct the experiment. Okay, first take the glass bottle and half of the glass bottle is filled with the glucose water. Before the experiment, we have to heat the glucose water up to 1 minute for removal of the oxygen. If any oxygen is present in the glucose water, to check the presence of oxygen, pour the diazine green B solution. the blue colored solution is converted into the light pink color due to very low amount of the oxygen. Now pour 1 centimeter length of up to 1 centimeter length of the bottle, pour liquid paraffin solution. It prevents the entry of the oxygen into the glucose water. Before pouring the paraffin solution, we have to add the yeast to the glucose water. First we are add the yeast powder into the glucose water. After that pour the liquid paraffin solution up to 1 centimeter length of the bottle. It prevents the entry of the oxygen or supply of the oxygen into the glucose water. Now fix the 2-hole rubber stopper. This is the 2-hole rubber stopper. Fix the 2-hole rubber stopper to the mouth of the glass bottle. In one hole, through the one hole, we are insert the thermometer. This is the mercury bulb. The mercury bulb should be submerged in the glucose water. Through the one hole, we are insert the thermometer. We have to use the only laboratory thermometer only. We should not use clinical thermometer. Okay. Now the mercury bulb should be submerged into the glucose water. Now through the second hole, we have to insert the delivery tube. This is the delivery tube. One end is inserted into the glass bottle. Another end is put into the test tube. So take the test tube, and the test tube is filled with the lime water. Lime water, and the test tube mouth is fixed with the 2-hole rubber stopper again. Here one hole, here another hole. Through the first hole, we have to put the second edge of the delivery tube into the lime water. The edge of the delivery tube is submerged into the lime water. Now in the second hole, we are inside the another L-shaped tube. Now we should not disturb the total equipments until the one day. After one day, the thermometer reading is slightly rising up. First we are take the first reading. After experiment, we have to take the second reading. Now after one day, if we are observe the lime water, the clear lime water is lightly turned into the milky white. Why? Because due to the anaerobic respiration in the yeast cells, the glucose water is converted into the ethanol or ethyl alcohol and At the same time, carbon dioxide is released. The released carbon dioxide is traveled through the delivery tube and enter into the lime water. The carbon dioxide is react with the lime water and turn the lime water into the milky white. The carbon dioxide only turn the lime water into milky white. This property is shown by the only carbon dioxide. Okay. Next, in the thermometer, if we are observe the thermometer, the mercury level is slightly raised up due to the respiration. Due to respiration, the energy is released as a heat energy. So, the temperature is lightly rising up in the mercury in the bulb. So, through this activity, we are conclude that during the anaerobic respiration, the carbon dioxide and heat energy are produced. Okay children, this is the second experiment in the respiration. The aim of this experiment is to prove the production of the carbon dioxide during the aerobic respiration. Here, plenty of oxygen is available in this experiment. For this experiment, we need the two sets of the required operators. They are two wide-mouthed glass jars. This is the wide-mouthed glass jar. We need one more glass jar and pour some sprouted seeds into the one bottle. Pour some unsprouted seeds. That means there is no any germination, sprouting. So unsprouted seeds are put into the another beaker, another jar, and put the small beaker with lime water at the corner of the glass jar. Same, take the small beaker with lime water and put into the at the corner of the glass jar. And 2 to 3 days we should not disturb this equipments. After 2 to 3 days, if we observe the color of the both lime waters, in the sprouted seeds, the lime water is turned milky white. But in the unsprouted seeds, the lime water is lightly turned into the white color. Why? Because here respiration rate is very high in the sprouted seeds, but in the dry seeds or the normal seeds, no germination. In those seeds, the respiratory rate is low in those seeds. Due to this experiment, we have to conclude that due to the aerobic respiration, the carbon dioxide is released and turn the lime water into the milky white. Okay children, this is the third experiment in the respiration lesson. The aim of the experiment is to prove the heat energy production during the aerobic respiration. That is the aim of the experiment. Next, required operators or required materials. Wide-mouthed glass jar, its lid. laboratory thermometer, germinated seeds. Simple operators. Procedure is take a wide-mouthed glass jar and put some germinated seeds into the glass jar and close its lid. Make a small hole at the center of the or middle of the lid and insert the thermometer into the glass jar. The mercury bulb should be contact with the germinated seeds and submarine into the germinated seeds. Now put the cotton at the place of the hole around the thermometer. This is the procedure. Now observation. Now take the first reading before the experiment. We should not disturb this equipment until the one day. After one day, when we are observed the mercury level in the thermometer, it is slightly rising up. Before the experiment, the mercury level reading is M1. After the experiment, the mercury level reading is M2. The conclusion is, due to the aerobic respiration, the heat energy is produced. Okay children, in this class we are learnt about the respiration in different living organisms. See, this is a fish. Fish is a aquatic animal. It is live in the water only. So it is called as aquatic animal. It cannot receive the oxygen from the atmosphere. So the oxygen is dissolved in the water. It has the gill pouches. 2 gill pouches are present in the fish. This is one gill, that side another gill. During the respiration, the water is enter into the mouth. After water enter into the mouth, it is close its mouth immediately and the water is pushed into the gill pouches. The gill pouches are lined by the mucin membrane. The carbon dioxide is rushed into the water. At the same time, oxygen is enter into the gill pouches through the mucin membrane. So the deoxygenated water is expelled through the gills. It receives the water through the mouth. It sends the water out through the gills. The respiration in the fish is called as bronchial respiration. Why? Because if the respiration occurs through the gills, such kind of the respiration is called as the bronchial respiration. Okay. See the another picture. Frog. Frog is different from the fish. Why? Because it has the specialities. It can live in the water and also on the land. So the frog is known as amphibian. The animals which are live in the water and also on the land Such animals are called as amphibians. When the frog is in the water, it respires with the skin. So, such kind of the respiration is called as cutaneous respiration. Cutaneous respiration. Cutaneous respiration is occur in the frog when it is in the water. When the frog is on the land, it respires with the lungs. So, such kind of the respiration is called as pulmonary respiration. If the respiration is occurs through the lungs, such kind of the respiration is called as the pulmonary respiration. Next, respiration in tadpole larvas. This is a adult frog, but what are they? These are look like a fish, but these are not a fish. These are tadpole larvas. They are come out from the eggs of the frog. Okay, like the adult frog, they have no any lungs. But how do they get the oxygen into the body? They have the gills like a fish. So they respire with these or respire with the gills. So in the tadpole larvas also bronchial respiration is occurs. But see this picture. What is this? It is look like snake, no? But it is not a snake. It is a earthworm, which is regarded as a friend of the farmer. It makes the soil as a soft and porous soil. This soft and porous soil is beneficial to the agriculture. That is why it is called as the friend of the farmer. And also it is used in the making of the vermicompost. Okay. Here in the earthworm also, earthworm do not have any lungs. But how the earthworms are get the oxygen? The earthworm has moisturized skin. Moisturized layer is, mucin layer is present on the skin of the earthworm. Through the moisturized skin, it respires the lungs and leave out the carbon dioxide. In the earthworm also, the cutaneous respiration is occurs. Okay, see this picture. This is cockroach. Cockroach is belong to the arthropod phylum. It has the jointed legs. See, up to here one leg part, up to here another leg part. Here joints are present in the legs of the cockroach. How the earthworm breathe in the oxygen and breathe out the carbon dioxide? It has a specialized system. That is tracheal respiratory system. In the cockroach, the blood is in white color due to absence of the hemoglobin. So, hemoglobin or other any substance is not found in the blood of the cockroach. So, it is in the white color. It does not involved in the carrying of the oxygen and carbon dioxide. Only remaining nutrients are distributed to the all parts of the body through the blood only. But oxygen, for the respiration, it has a specialized system that is called as the tracheal system. Through this system, the oxygen is enter into the body and reach it to the every part of the body. So, the tracheal system helps in the distribution of the oxygen and carbon dioxide to every part of the body. See, this type of the respiration is known as tracheal respiration. At the sides of the tracheal systems, at the sides of the cockroach, it has this side 10 small pores, this side 10 small pores. These pores are called as spiracles. Through these spiracles, the oxygen is enter into the body and leave out the carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. It is a terrestrial animal. That means it live on the land only. The animals which live on the land only, they are called as terrestrial animal or animals. Animals have the different respiratory organs for breathing in and breathing out of the air. But how the plants are respire the oxygen? For the respiration in the plants have the specialized organs. They are the lenticels. The lenticels are located at the surface of the roots and also stem of the plants. They breathe in the oxygen and leave out the carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Okay children, see this forest. This forest is known as the mangrove forest. Such kind of the forest are located at where the rivers and also oceans, both waters are combined together. In such areas, this type of the plants are located. Actually, their roots are submerged into the salt water So they are unable to absorb the oxygen from the water. So the specialized roots are arised from the main root system and exposed to the atmosphere and able to absorb the oxygen from the atmosphere. So these roots are absorb the atmospheric oxygen and supply the oxygen to the plants. Such kind of the roots are known as the aerial roots. See the aerial roots. These are exposed to the outside. Okay children. Now final homework to you from the second lesson, that is respiration. First half mark questions. First question. Expand ATP. Second question. HB plus dash gives rise to HbO2. Fill the blank with correct answer. Third questions. Lenticels are the respiratory organs in the dash. Now, one mark questions. In one mark questions, first question is clusters of air sacs in lungs are called dash. Second question. In which living organisms anaerobic respiration occurs? Third question. Write a equation that showing aerobic respiration. Write a equation that showing aerobic respiration. Now, 2 marks questions. In 2 marks questions, first question is, what is the role of epiglottis in respiration? Second question. Draw a neat sketch of mitochondria and label its parts. Third question. After vigorous exercises or works, we feel pain in the muscles. What is the relationship between our pains and respiration? This question is commonly seen in the summative exams, in public exams also. Now, 4 marks questions. Differentiate between aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Second question. Explain the mechanism of gases exchange at bronchiole level. Third question. Draw a neat sketch of coronavirus and write the symptoms of the COVID-19 disease. From the last academic year to this academic year, the curfews and also lockdown all are caused by the coronavirus in worldwide. That is why I give this question to you as a homework. Okay, children. Okay, children. Due to the corona situation, we need lot of oxygen to our lungs. How do we give the at least 80% of the oxygen to our lungs? In the resting position, we give the only 15 to 20% of the oxygen only we give to our lungs. Due to body workouts, exercises, we will give the 40 to 50% of the oxygen to our body. For give the oxygen, plentiful of the oxygen to our lungs, we have to do the respiratory exercises. Among the respiratory exercises, the pranayama is the one of the best exercise, one of the best respiratory exercise. It has the 5 types. 5 types of the pranayama are found. First one is the in the first type, hold the thumb finger with the index finger. Thumb finger with the index finger and keep like this. Breathe in and breathe out with both nostrils. We should not close any nostril. Take a deep breathe in and leave out the air with the same force. Keep the concentration on the breathing. This is the first type. Second type, we have to close the nostrils with the thumb finger and also ring finger. In the second type, we have to breathe in and breathe out with the single nostril only, like this. Now with the another nostril. Three times with one nostril, 3 times with the another nostril. Now third type. In the third type, we have to breathe in with the one nostril and breathe out with the another nostril. This is the third type. This is the third type. The third type of the pranayama is do this third type for the three times. Okay. Now fourth type is we have to breathe in with the nostrils and breathe out with the mouth like this. Now close our eyes. This is the fourth type of the pranayama. In the fifth type is different from the four types of the pranayama. Why? Because it is different. We have to close our eyes with the ring finger and also middle finger, and close our ears with the thumb finger. Now we have to make the sound like a honeybees like this. Now close our eyes like this. Now close our ears. Now keep the concentration on our sounds only and put the concentration on our breathing. Like this. So children, choose any type of pranayama. Do this at least 10 minutes per day. Thank you.